and welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm Mary Trimble with your readings for December the 17th through December the 23rd. Look, I'm sorry that this is late, but I have to say I've been going through some emotional turmoil this week, and I think it's important for me to share my trials and tribulations. I'm not all Pollyanna and all positive all the time. I go through my own drama and my own feelings, and this week was huge. I took the time to really feel these feelings this week, and difficult though that was, because I was judging myself. I wanted to get things done. It was really, really difficult. So, as some of you know, my mum passed away this week, and 3 months ago. 3 months ago this week. I actually didn't realize until towards the end of the week that it was actually 3 months. And I was going through it. And, you know, I had to kind of look at my fears. You know, I was guided by Mother Mary. Mother Mary is one of my guides, and I pulled her cards out in my emotional pain. I mean, if I wasn't sleeping, I was crying. I was walking the dog, I was crying. I was just an emotional wreck. And normally I wouldn't kind of share that, but I think it's important for you guys to know. Listen, when I deliver these messages, I deliver these messages from a higher realm, but through my perception of life. My trials, my tribulations, my lessons, my pain, my joy, everything comes through me and my experience. And I've been on this planet 60 years. And I've been through a lot of turmoil and tribulations, and a lot of triumphs and a lot of joy, a lot of deep sadness and a lot of happiness. But I really wanted you to know that, you know, it's not, when I'm delivering these messages and I'm saying, you know, come out of that pain, I don't mean don't feel the pain. I spent the whole week feeling that pain. And I pulled this card, Our Lady of Innocence, which says, you know, be your authentic self. Don't judge yourself. Don't be, you know, look at your fears. What are your fears? And put yourself out there as vulnerable as you are. So here I am in my pajamas, in my home, without lots of makeup, just being real, the true me. And I want to share my fears, you know, my fears of not being able to help enough people, not being able to live up to others' standards, or mine, not being able to live up to mine. The fear of the cruelty around the world, the fear of the cruelty within me, the fear of not being enough, the fear of not being able to live here without my mother. And I have to acknowledge that. And normally I apologize for my emotions, and I'm not going to apologize today. I mourn my mum, and I don't want to sit in that. I don't want to dwell in it. I want to come out of it. So here I am, vulnerable and in front of the camera, and wanting to get this message out, because I know some people depend on it. And I am grateful for them, because that gives me the impetus to get up here and to bare my soul to you guys. So I have to look at these fears. I have to identify my fears. I have to acknowledge them so that I can move on from them. So with that being said, let's go into the aspects that we're going to talk about in the horoscopes this week. Now, December the 17th, Mars sextiles Pluto. The 20th, the Sun trines Uranus. The 21st is the winter solstice, where the Sun moves into Capricorn. Now, the winter solstice is the longest night of the year. And, you know, in paganism around the world, actually, I think they have the biggest celebration at Stonehenge in England, and they dance around bonfires and sing, and, you know, the old pagan festivals were to eat for a week. I mean, you know, it goes back in a lot of cultures, and rejoice when the sun comes back in the morning, when it rises. So right after the winter solstice, the days start to get longer. It's like the sun comes back. It's when the winter solstice is when the earth is on an axis, on a tilt at 23.5, I think it is, degrees away from the sun, right? So that's what makes it the longest night. And then, you know, it changes and the days get longer. So it's almost like, you know, the day after the winter solstice, there's hope and positivity and, you know, for abundance and for harvest, because in the Northern Hemisphere, the winter solstice, you know, marks the time, the winter marks the time of, you know, hunger, because nothing grows, you know, and livestock are killed because they can't feed them, right? So the meat is, you know, eaten or smoked and cured and saved. So anyway, that's the winter solstice on the 21st. Now, also on the 21st, we have the Venus trines Neptune, beautiful, and Mercury conjunct Jupiter, all on the same day. And then on the 22nd is the full moon in Cancer. I want to talk about this full moon in particular because this full moon is almost on the winter solstice. It's really so close. It's almost, it actually is on, it peaks at 12:48, I think it is, on the 22nd. So you can see it in the sky on the 21st. Now, the next full moon on the winter solstice will be in the year 2094. That's how rare these full moons are on the winter solstice. So this is a very powerful full moon. It's very emotional. It's really deep. And it's very kind of spiritual and connected. So it's very poignant, and depending on which house it falls in for your sign is how it will play out for you. And so I just want to thank you all for being here, for liking my videos, for sharing them on your social media, and for commenting. I really appreciate you. My heart is so warm and open, and words can't express how grateful I am to you all. So without further ado, let's go to your horoscope, shall we? Hello Virgo, and welcome to your reading for December the 17th through December the 23rd. I've been shuffling these cards for you, so I wanted to go over it's so much is happening this week. It's really, there's a lot going on, Virgo. Mars is in your house of relationship and Pluto is in your house of home and romance, and they are in a beautiful conversation with each other. And what does this mean to you? It will give you tremendous energy in these areas, right? I feel that your relationships will kind of, I feel that you're going to spend all this energy on your relationships with your children, with your lover. I'm looking over here because your chart's over here. So there may be kind of a rejuvenation of your relationships and kind of moving in a different direction. So it's almost like the power has kind of changed. Perhaps you've relinquished some of the control and the power in these relationships and just allowed them to be, and they will transform and deepen because of that. I feel that you're going to put copious amounts of energy into this. Maybe you're going to have parties or festivities around this time, which is, well, I mean, it's kind of obvious, you know, it is Christmas, you know, this winter solstice, you know, there's lots of festivities and parties going on. all kinds of festivities going on and holidays at this time. Now, so I feel that you're going to transform the dynamics in your relationships going forward. Virgo for this week. So now you have the Sun trining Uranus in the so the Sun in the 4th house and Uranus in the 8th house, right? So the 4th house is about home, it's about your roots, it's about the past. And Uranus is in the 8th house, which is all about, you know, death and rebirth and transformation. So look, with the Sun in the 4th house, I feel that it's unexpected good fortune, right? So, you know, it can give you a magnetism, a social magnetism, kind of leadership qualities, definitely power shifts. And I feel that your interest will be on humanitarian enterprises. And I think that, look, I think that you might have interest in the occult. Hey, you're watching this, right? Oh, that was too many. This one will come out. Yeah. Okay. Now, these are clarifying cards for Virgo. And Virgo, oops. And Virgo, you were the highest viewed video this week. So congratulations, you're coming out first. I'm recording you first. Very happy to do that. So lovely. Thank you for watching the video so much. That's brilliant. Okay, now the winter solstice is happening on the 21st. So this is about ambition. It's about what the winter solstice, hold on, happens. Yeah, in your house of, oh wait, hold on, cancel. The winter solstice happens in the, in your 5th house of romance and children. This really is all about saying goodbye to the darkness and saying hello to the light for you. I feel that things are going to get so much easier in your relationships, particularly your loved ones, your children, you know, grandchildren, your home, your lover, your partner. I think things are coming to a beautiful, oh, and you look, you've got Venus in your 3rd house and it's trining Neptune in the 7th. This is about wonderful communication with your in your relationships, all relationships. I feel that communication will be highlighted, but really beautiful communication. Also appreciation of music, art, and poetry. You know, your tastes will be aesthetically refined. It's beautiful. Mercury conjunct Jupiter in the 4th house is also about communication. It's about furthering your interests. It's about, you know, bigger, better, more. It's about putting your focus on your home and your immediate loved ones. This is where it's happening for you this week. You could even think about a long, an online course of some kind. You could start an online course. That wouldn't surprise me, or your interest of learning something online. Now the full moon is happening. The moon is going to be in your 10th house of career, and the sun in your 4th house. So the sun is again shining on your house of roots and home. This can also mean the past. So you could be really thinking a lot about the past. It's, you know, it's not surprising around the holidays for that to happen. At the full moon, this shining, bright, luminous moon, this full moon in Cancer is happening in your 10th house. So your career is highlighted. your going forward is highlighted, and it's funny because the sun is shining on your home and the past, right? So you've got these two. A full moon is always when the sun is opposite the moon. So they are in opposite houses, right? And this Cancer moon is extremely sensitive to those around you. You will feel energy. Now, sometimes you can get distorted because you're so emotionally charged. You can sometimes misinterpret your feelings and feel slighted in some way. So be aware of that over the holidays. I think, you know, I think that you really are going to have a beautifully emotionally connected holiday with your family and your loved ones, your partner, and, you know, your extended family also. And that can mean your friends who you choose to be a part of your family, right? So that's your horoscope, Virgo. Let's go to your cards. And the first card out for you is the World. Now, the World is telling you that the universe is supporting you in doing something completely different going forward. I feel that these relationships are going to be, all of your close relationships will kind of go through a transformation, and you can choose to keep that transformation, to let go of the control that you've had around them, to allow people to be who they want to be without criticizing them or wanting to help them or change them or save them. Because you are humanitarian. You know, when you have control in relationships, it's because you want them, you want to save them, you want to help them. But in doing so, you don't realize that you're kind of damaging them in some way. So it's important to go forward differently. And look, you've got the Page of Air. So this is also saying that, you know, that old thing, it's like it's about telling someone the truth, because this is the truth, right? Air is all about the truth. It's like the swords. It's all about the truth. The thing is with air is, when the Page of Swords comes in, this can be a message that you get that you don't want to hear because it's not delivered in a nice way and you're not feeling, it's not palatable. So that's, you know, if you are the Page of Air to somebody else, it's saying be kinder and be more compassionate and deliver the message, you know, in a more palatable way, because sometimes when we're curt and we're dogmatic, people don't hear it, right? It's like when people tell you things, you don't hear it if it's not said in a compassionate way. So that's, you can receive the message, but there again, you can, you know, you can get it. Also, pages mean that you are ready to move on to the next phase of your life. And especially with the World being here and it's clarifying the world, that kind of rings more true to me. You have the Star, darling. The Star is a healing card. It is healing emotionally, physically, and spiritually. This is a wonderful opportunity to heal your relationships, what's going on with them, to heal yourself, to acknowledge what you're going through, to feel those feelings and release them. And you've got the Five of Water, which means it's asking you to see your cup as half full and not as half empty. Focus on what you have, not what you haven't. Drop the criticism of yourself and others. And then the next card is, you've got the Ace. You've got the Ace of Swords. That's new beginnings. And sometimes they're kind of hard. They're challenging new beginnings, right? But in these new beginnings, I always say the Ace of Swords is like the Ganesh of tarot. It's removing the obstacles that were once there, but it's kind of a slow, arduous thing. So you're asked to have patience at this moment. And look, you've got the Page of Cups. Love is coming in for you. This is beautiful. This is on every level. And it's also, because the Page of Cups delivers a message of love. But not only that, it's another marker saying that you are ready to move on to the next phase of your life, Virgo. And look, you've got the Three of Water. It's about celebrating. You have this wonderful opportunity to change your life on a really deep level, to transform it. Your relationships can be more loving. You're going to find a deeper connection with those who are close to you. And you are ready to change, and to change how you've been doing things, how you've been communicating, how you've treated people. It's just how you've reacted to people, right? Because you are a kind soul. You are. Sometimes you can lash out at people. You might be a little critical. But I feel that with this new winter solstice, you're letting the darkness go and you're going into the light, and you're going to see people's positivity, and you're going to help people in a different way than you have been. Virgo, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Please don't forget to like this video, share it on your social media, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week.